Donald Trump is headed back to the White House. His win over Vice President Kamala Harris called about half an hour ago. Good morning. It is Wednesday, November 6th. I'm Noah Harrison. Thank you for starting your morning with us. That local breaking news is coming out of Shenandoah County. The school board becoming the first in the U.S. to restore the names of schools that honor Confederate leaders. So Kayla, this is a story that left so many people across the state absolutely heartbroken yesterday. And I know there's still many questions left unanswered, but what do we know right now about the events leading up to those children being found? It's going to be a fun day all around. 4th of July already is, but we are kind of looking at some storms that may put a damper on a few plans.
And we need the rain.
So those are going to indicate where weather-related issues are, like those flooded areas that roads may be closed. If you just click on those and go to the side here, you can see exactly where those closures and conditions are happening, so you can stay with those. It also provides live updates when roads open back up. Well, this morning the report card is out on how well the Commonwealth protects families from being pushed into poverty by debt collectors. And that grade is quite low. In a survey from the National Consumer Law Center, Virginia got a D for its protections, or the lack thereof.
Right.
I was about to complain and be like, we're replacing the real dogs because those can't cuddle, but okay, I'll let them live. Hurricane Helene making landfall late last night as a Category 4 hurricane. Here's a live look now at Savannah, Georgia. The major storm has moved out, but as you can see, winds still heavy in the area. Tough men wanted. That was the phrase on an ad in the newspaper that stuck out to Scott Drugo. He had some interest in the military in college, but didn't pursue it any further until he saw that ad. And new on Daybreak, the year 1940. The U.S. was not a part of World War II just yet. Bing Crosby dominated the music scene, and Miss Dora Chambers was making biscuits. The wind, it was the snow, the cold. We had a little bit of everything yesterday. Now, you may remember back in September, we actually introduced you to Bill Kingria. He set out to hike 107 miles of the trail to celebrate his birthday and to raise money for a Harrisonburg nonprofit, Hope Distributed. And for my dad, Colonel Douglas Harrison Jr., it all began freshman year of college in ROTC at the University of Cincinnati when he ran into an old friend from high school. Christmas just 1 week away now, and you might be thinking something like a lottery ticket would make a great last-minute gift. But Virginia Lottery is reminding you these items are not meant for minors. But some are now thinking that's not enough, and medical exams should be required. But I spoke to two experts who explained the complications that could come with that. And I've been eyeing that bakery for a couple weeks now, or at least for the last week. So I definitely got to check some of that out. I would love to. I don't think I've had any like native Ukrainian pastries. Now, while you were sleeping, we've been tracking every moment of these election results. Kayla Brown joins us live in the studio now with the details. So Kayla, one of the last things we expected this morning was to actually know the winner of this race. Take us through how we got here. And take a look at this. So the song says, "I want a hippopotamus for Christmas," and that's exactly what the Richmond Metro Zoo got. This baby pygmy hippo was born December 9th. It weighs 15 pounds. Now, to give you some perspective, a fully grown pygmy hippo can weigh up to 600 pounds. So she's a tiny little thing. Country, some places here in the area are seeing flooding as well. So how should people respond to those conditions this morning? By day, Monica Quarles is a school counselor, but she's also the 7th strongest woman in the world.
When I joined, I didn't have much of a background in the Army. My grandparents were military, but it skipped a generation and then landed on me.
At the start of his career, Scott Drugo never imagined he'd still be serving 25 years later. His original plan, to serve 4 years, then get out.
And then after 4 years, I got commissioned as an officer. So there was other responsibilities, and I was having a great time, and time was just clicking away. And then I get promoted to a captain. And then I get to 20 years when I can get out, and I get promoted again to major. And I'm like, this is awesome. I'm having a good time. I love the people I work with. I love what I do. There's always a dangling carrot. You're like, well, this is the next step, and I could do that.
During his time in the National Guard, Drugo has served as a combat engineer and public affairs officer, those positions taking him to numerous countries like Kosovo after the war in 2008.
We took a team out and we would just judge, like, hey, is there electricity on for 24 hours? What are the other issues? And then we would report that back to the U.S. Army, and it would go up to a higher headquarters. But every day I had the opportunity to travel outside and meet new people. And I still think to this day that I could probably look up some of my friends over there and at least get a free place to stay if I wanted to go on vacation in Kosovo.
And allowing him to be part of big moments in Virginia, everything from the inauguration in 2021 to disaster response to historic events in Kuwait.
We had the opportunity to get U.S., Kuwaiti, and Saudi soldiers all on a tank range with their tanks for the first time since Kuwait was liberated. So that was kind of a big deal.
And even in Afghanistan, as U.S. troops were preparing to withdraw from the country in 2020 and 2021.
We fought to get some Afghanistan flights to Kuwait. In the meantime, we took a piece of desert and built a small little town to house folks that were getting transported to the United States. So it was amazing to watch. The second they hit the go button, everybody pitched in, and they had this town built in days. So then we were prepared to take on folks from Afghanistan through Kuwait to send them back to the United States.
Drugo says throughout his career, the thing he holds most dear is the relationships he's formed with people all across the world, even though it can be tough to maintain relationships at home.
It's probably more difficult in the National Guard on families than it is on the soldier, because we're removed from just doing day-to-day tasks or showing up for work, and then we go do exciting things with exciting new people. But the hard part is left on the family. The front end of a deployment is difficult for planning to leave, and then the back end is after you get back, you have to take a step back and not even pretend like I'm just going to jump in where we left off, because it doesn't work that way.
But he says being a part of the big picture keeps him going.
And it's amazing that you can go 8 to 10 time zones away and meet a person that's in a different uniform from a different country, and how much you actually share with that person. Everybody's so focused on doing the same mission. It was amazing to fall into that puzzle, and I was just a small piece, but all of us fit together well and painted that picture